Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to a brand new week of streaming here on DSPGaming. And what a week it's going to be. Not only do we have ongoing new release playthroughs, a brand new game added to the mix, but also we've got part 2 of an awesome beta. And ladies and gentlemen, today we've got a ridiculous amount of game news to talk about that all happened during my day off yesterday. Oh yeah, perhaps some interesting stuff happened during my day off yesterday. All this and more on today's Level 1 podcast. Alrighty, everyone. It's a brand new week, and ladies and gentlemen, today is officially Friday the 13th. Alright, but with Friday the 13th comes many things. Of course, we are in the midst of a very busy fall gaming season. In addition to that, we are in the midst of Halloween month. So there's a lot going on in the realm of pop culture and fun stuff, and especially here on my channel and of course my sister channel DSP Reacts, there's a lot going on as well. It's been good, right? We're in the midst of some pretty awesome playthroughs, just having finished up my Resident Evil 4 Separate Ways DLC and Lies of P playthroughs. We're smack dab in the middle of my Assassin's Creed Mirage playthrough, actually pushing towards the second half and the finale this week. The Modern Warfare 3 beta will again launch over this weekend, and I'll be checking it out this time on the other console, the Xbox Series X. And the first in a series of seemingly non-stop new releases starts this coming Tuesday with Sonic Superstars. So we've got a crazy, crazy busy week of stuff coming, which I'm excited for, obviously. And with the fall actual weather, I should say, fall weather here, in Washington State, it means that things change a little bit. I'm actually wearing pants today. Yes, for the first time in many months, it's going to be cool enough now moving forward to wear pants, and you should actually start seeing me wear different clothing on streams. We're going to give it a shot this year and see what you guys think. As you know, over the summertime, I started wearing button-downs that were kind of like almost like party shirts and stuff like that during the summer, and you guys enjoyed that. You told me, hey, this is cool because you always wear gaming t-shirts, and you've been wearing these t-shirts for over 10 years on streams. You know, would you do something different? You know, I listened to your feedback, and you guys seem to love the change. So starting this week, on cooler days, I'll actually be wearing more fall-themed shirts and stuff like that as well, as you'll see. And, you know, of course, I'd like to hear your feedback on that. So that should be cool. Now, I got a lot to talk about today because a lot has happened. First of all, yesterday was one of the more notable gaming news days in recent memory. We had just had an absolute ton of stuff going on in the realms of video games and or pop culture at large, and that's great. It's great to have a good, you know, very busy news day. I told you guys I felt this would happen, that when new games started coming out and we got into this busy gaming season, that all of a sudden a bunch of news would start hitting, and that's very much what started happening. So we have all that to talk about, but yesterday was also my day off, so I have to talk about that because there's some interesting updates in regards to things going on around here as a result. In addition, I have a few minor updates in regards to the discussion we had the other day regarding my late night streams and the lack of moderation on them, and because of that, people kind of being turned off by them. So there's a lot going on today to talk about on the show. Let's jump right into it because we have to get through a ton, okay? So how about this? Why not start off with a segment about yesterday, Phil's day off. Now, as you know, I don't really have insane amounts of stuff to talk about my days off or anything like that. But I have two interesting stories to tell, basically. So yesterday being my day off, it was actually a day out. And what that means is rather than staying home with my wife and relaxing most of the day, instead, we had to go out and we had a ton of things to do. Excuse me. Errands and the like, again, when we have our day out, we usually have all of our appointments and things are lined up for those days, and this was no exception. Picking up pet supplies and the like while we're out. But particularly, this week was interesting because I had to get my Halloween costume for the upcoming Halloween marathon that will take place right here on DSPGaming all day long on Tuesday, October 31st. I do this every year. In fact, I think this is the 8th. I want to say this is like the 8th annual year. It could be the 7th, but I think it's the 8th year in a row where I'm actually dressing up for Halloween with a big marathon event. I love doing it annually. It's a super fun event. And this year, because we changed up my formula based on your feedback, there's no goals. There was nothing we had to hit to do it. We're just doing it for fun, which is actually excellent. You want to know why? Because I do feel like in previous years, even though, let's be honest, it supports this channel when we have goals set, like, hit a certain number of members and then we'll do the Halloween marathon, right? Instead of pushing for that and asking for that this year, I'm just going to do the events. Whatever. And I would hope that the support would come. And in general, you guys have supported the channel this year. So I'm not complaining. I think that it's been a good experiment to not have those goals and just do the fun events, and I'm happy to be doing this one. It took the pressure off. We don't have to talk about it every day, right? However, there is a major change in the way that things operated this year. There was no viewer voting on the category of costume for me to wear this year. Okay, that was a change, because previous years, I always made it so that, hey, if we hit a members goal, then, the members would vote on the category of costume. So we didn't do that this year. And when we changed it up, for the better in my opinion, it actually gave more control to myself and my wife to kind of work out and choose what kind of a Halloween costume I was going to wear. Because previous years, it was always very limited to whatever the category was that people would vote for. And sometimes we would wait till the middle of October for people to vote. And then it's like, now we got to rush out and in the last week before Halloween, try to find a good costume based on the category people voted for. And it could be very annoying. This year, not having that limitation actually made it a lot more fun, if you can believe it. We walked into the Halloween stores. There's two of them in my local area. One's called Halloween City and one was called Spirit Halloween. By walking into these stores and not having any limitations, it's kind of like, wow, everything's a possibility in this store. I could be a pop culture icon. I could be something silly from pop culture or a horror-themed, monster from a recent horror movie, or, a Universal monster, maybe one of the classic monsters, right? I could be one of these themed characters from different time periods that people love to dress up as. I could be a superhero. I could be a comic book character. I could be a cartoon character. So looking at all these different ones, and by the way, I've done most of those over the years. What do I want to do? I'm not sure. And there's a lot of options. Now, when we walked into Halloween City, I'm going to be honest, we were impressed by the size of the store, but man, we were not impressed by the selection. Like, most of Halloween City, like half of the store was like a lot of decorations for Halloween, like big giant standees and things to hang around and posters and lighting and things like that. And when we actually got to sections on the costumes themselves, it wasn't that good. It was kind of generic. They didn't really have the licensed stuff that they had wasn't that great. And a lot of the costumes, like I said, were kind of generic and not great looking. So we went in there and we were in there for like maybe 20 minutes looking around like, I don't think this is going to be it. It just doesn't seem like this has much. And we confirmed that because when we walked into Spirit Halloween, it was like a whole different echelon of quality. Like Spirit Halloween seems to have everything now. They have every licensed thing you could want. Like every licensed costume is in there. They have every single pop culture show, movie, whether it's horror themed or again, everything you can think of that's a time. Video games, ton of video games, anime. Well, it's hilarious because half the anime is in there. I didn't even know what the hell they were. I was like, what the fuck is this? I never heard of this one before. But yeah, it's good stuff. I would say they had a pretty darned wide selection. And so as my wife and I were walking through, we had like 3-4 ideas that all were really good ideas. And we were trying to think, well, maybe this would be funny, but would this tie into my streams and my content? You know, how would this work? How would that work? How would I pull this off? You always got to have certain things in mind, like, although this costume may be good, would it work for the stream? Keep in mind, this is a marathon gaming stream. And also, I'm going to probably be doing the tier maker during that stream. Plus, I'm eating. Can I wear this costume realistically when all that is going on? There's also other factors as well. Like, for example, could a piece of this costume later tie into my content? Or is this just a one-off kind of a deal that I'll never really do anything with again? I'll give you a perfect example of that. Earlier this year, I bought the Ryu costume for the launch of Street Fighter 6 and the Fight and Feast marathon event that I did. You remember that, right? And the Ryu headband has become a staple that people can vote for when we qualify for a hat on a stream after hitting like a tip skull. So people like that. You like that there's something a leftover that could carry over into other content. So that was another factor as well. Is there a piece of a component of the costume that maybe could actually become something that I would like wear or something for the future? So there's a lot of things to think about. And again, the only reason we had the freedom to think about all those things is because we were determining the costume this year. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think this is going to continue like this moving forward. I honestly feel like it makes more sense to keep this way going, because then you guys right now have absolutely positively no idea what the costume's going to be. Here's what I can tell you without spoiling. It does have some ties to stuff that we do on streams together. That's what I'm going to say. Number one, it's not just like a completely unrelated thing you would never expect. And number two, it is something that I think is going to have some longevity. That's all I'm going to say. And now you can start guessing. But the cool thing is, I think you're really going to like it. Like, no lie, we got this costume, we came home, and we opened it up, we're looking at it like, wow, this is cool. Like, this is going to be neat. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this one, all right? So, yeah, I'm excited now for Halloween, because now I found a really good costume. Like, oh, this is cool. You get pumped for the event a little more, right? So, FYI, if you want to be a part of this Halloween event, you have the opportunity. If you're a standard viewer, you just go to my... Oh, first of all, if you're in the chat right now, which there's a couple hundred of you on stream right now, I think. I didn't even look. Type !Halloween into the chat. That's the command. That'll allow you to go to the thread where you can nominate games. Now, the nominations are only open over the weekend. Once this weekend ends, I'm going to close nominations, tally them up, and then we're going to see what were the most nominated games to be played during the Halloween event. So you got like 2 days left. Like today, tomorrow, probably Sunday night is when I'm going to close off those nominations. So if you have not nominated yet, you absolutely must. If you're not watching this stream live, you can go to the community tab of this channel, scroll to about the beginning of the month, and you'll see that there was a post there for everyone to post in, nominating games for the Halloween event. Please do. Now, if you're a channel member at this point, you're in luck. Channel members get priority to nominate games for this month's event, and channel members are guaranteed to get their most nominated game into the event no matter what. So, if you're not a member yet, I don't know what you're waiting for, but if you are a member, head over to the membership tab on the channel page, and you will see a post from earlier this month. Post up your game nominations there, and like I said, I'll wait till probably like Sunday night, and then I'll sit down and I will tally up the nominations, and then we will determine the most nominated games. There should be a poll to determine what games will be played, and the most nominated game by the members will be a shoo-in and we'll get in right away. All right? So I'm excited to see what games you guys have lined up for me for the Halloween event. Keep in mind, other things happening during the Halloween event. I'll probably be having a few drinks. I usually do that during these marathons, and now it's been a couple months since we had a special marathon, so it'd be nice to have a few shots or drinks during the event. Food, I'm going to be ordering food from a restaurant and having a full episode of Feasting with Phil with you guys live, where we kind of share a meal together and I tell you what I think about it. And yes, it is official. I've decided we will do the Halloween tier maker during that event. What it's going to be is we're going to rank the most popular horror movie franchises against each other. Think about this, all right? Jaws versus The Exorcist versus Dracula and others. I'm just throwing those out there, okay? So some examples. So that would be pretty cool to rank them against each other, and together we determine, you know, what's the biggest ones, or what is the scariest or most notable ones. I mean, there's so many. It's going to be pretty fun to go through that for an hour or two and figure out, you know, what are the best ranked ones. So that's going to happen live during the event as well. And of course, games. We're going to probably play maybe 3 to 4 different games during the course of the event and randomly jump between them. The cool thing about it this year is that PC games are eligible for the first time in years and years. I have a mini PC that I can now use to play games, and that is going to be in the mix as an eligible thing to be played. So obviously, I'm pretty excited. It's going to be a great event. Anyway, so we got the Halloween costume. That is secured. I mean, the only other thing of note, I mean, we were out all day. We had so much we had to do because, again, we hadn't been out in many weeks. So when we go out together to do these things, we're usually doing a ridiculous amount of stuff all in a short period of time. Also, the good news is that it was a cooler day. Now it's fall weather now, so it wasn't like we were overheated or whatever. We actually ate out. We went to a restaurant that's a boiling seafood restaurant. Now, to clarify, boiling seafood can be incredibly expensive. We didn't get the things that's incredibly expensive. Like, for example, I wouldn't even want it. You know how you get, like, snow crab legs and stuff? For me, when I eat, okay, I want to eat, and I want to enjoy my food without making an insane amount of mess and having an insane amount of work. Yesterday, when we went to this place, it was an exception. Because this place, if you order the boiling seafood, they bring it out to you in this broth or whatever, and you get a bib, and you get gloves, and you got to rip everything out and eat it, okay? But we didn't want to go crazy. Number one, we're not going to spend a lot of money. And number two, we just didn't want to have a lot of work. You know, a lot of people love crab. I think crab's delicious. I don't want to sit here for 2 hours getting meat out of crab legs, all right? So we both ordered shrimp. My wife had Cajun style boiled, and I had lemon pepper style boiled, and it's really cool. It comes with other things. It comes with like a little piece of corn on the cob and like a boiled potato. And the potato, you would think, oh, it's just a boiled potato. That's not going to be good. It's amazing. It just breaks apart like soft, and you can put it into the broth and eat it. It tastes absolutely delicious. So we actually shared. We shared shrimp. I had a few of her Cajun. She had a few of my lemon pepper. It was a really good dinner, and messy as shit, but that's why you do it at the restaurant. You know what I mean? Like, that's exactly why you do it there. Try eating that at home. Your whole house is a mess. But you eat it at the restaurant. They purposefully set it up. They even have a giant tablecloth made of paper, disposable paper, that they cover your table. They give you gloves, a bib, you know, those wet wipes for your face, a million napkins, like unlimited napkins at the table. So that way, it's their problem. You eat. It's their mess to clean up when you're done. And it wasn't that bad either. Like, half a pound of shrimp was like $10, $11, something like that. So it was actually not an expensive dinner, but it was filling, and it was, by the way, way more healthy than, say, getting fried food or anything with cheese and oil. It was boiled seafood, and it was delicious. We had a great dinner. So that's what we did. Yeah. So that was pretty much our day out. You know, we came home, and I think we watched, some guy was playing Starfield. We watched someone play Starfield for an hour or two. You know, nothing too major. We did watch the new documentary by June the King. His latest documentary was about Boogie. Now, I know about Boogie from previously having seen some videos about his past when he used to make those Francis videos and stuff like that. But I didn't know too much about the real Boogie or the modern Boogie or anything that had been going on with this guy. You know, I didn't even know the whole story about the full story about the guy who went to his house and harassed him, and then he did a warning shot, and then he got into trouble for it. I didn't even know the whole story of that, you know? So watching this documentary was fascinating, and very informative. And I'll be honest with you guys, it kind of made my eyes open to a lot of the ways that Boogie behaves, and or the ways that Boogie has behaved against me in the last year. You know, this is a guy that I had very little interaction with. The only interactions I really had with the guy were very, very positive interactions. And then he reached out to me about being on a podcast together. I said I would consider it. Yeah, let's talk about it. And then he, I guess, was the one who decided to go against it because he wanted to team up with Keemstar to do the podcast and make more money. And then he apparently, and I don't even know, because again, I don't follow these people on Twitter. I want no involvement. Apparently he's talked shit about me and stuff. I'm like, what shit could he even possibly talk about me? We've had nothing but just a few behind the scenes, very nice conversations about stuff. I don't know how he could even, like, we don't have enough interaction for him to even talk shit. It doesn't make sense. But apparently he did. Apparently he publicly talked shit about me. Good for him, right? What a nice guy. Only for all of that, I guess, to come back in his own face, because guess what? It is October 13th, 2023. Are you aware of any podcast that's come out from those guys yet? So, I mean, hey, I'm just saying, well, you know, the nice cordial conversations we were having, our show would have started months ago. Our show would have been very positive. Our show would have been constructive and meaningful to our audiences. It wouldn't have been a show just about making fun of each other and being stupid, calling each other lol cows and shit. You know, it would have been good. It would have been an actual nice, productive thing. And who knows what actually happened there. But, you know, who knows, right? I don't know, and I don't really care. I'm not involved with those guys. And, you know, as you guys know, I've fully removed myself from any involvement with drama. I'm done with it. I'm not going to have any involvement with any of these fucking people who are going to try to pull me into their vortex of drama and shit. I'm here to be here for you guys, right? So I'm happy because I'm watching this documentary with my wife, and we're like, wow, it seems like another bullet dodged. You know, because who would know what would have happened if you involve yourself with people like that? And this guy seems to be the kind of guy that always is going back and forth, flip-flopping between, I'll do this, then he does the opposite. Well, I'm going to do this, then he does the opposite. So, who knows what would have happened, right? If I had actually involved myself with this guy in any kind of a capacity, right? So anyway, I'm happy with the way things worked out, quite frankly. I wish the guy the best, but man, watching that documentary, it's like, and all the shit, you know, it covers up to that now, I think. And just not going to say nothing further than that. All right. So anyway, yeah, it was a good day off, I would say. Pretty much. We did a lot of fun stuff, a lot of busy stuff. I'm happy we got the costume, a good dinner, relaxing night. Everything worked out pretty good. So that is the Phil's Day Off segment. Woohoo. I'm sure you guys are very excited to hear all about that. All right. Now, before we get to a big chunky news segment today, because my goodness, do we have a lot of chunky news to talk about today. I'd like to do a minor follow-up to what we talked about the other day in regards to night streams and moderation. All right. And then I would like to give you the schedule for the week. All right. And then we'll go from there probably into the news segment. So our discussion the other day was as follows. I was wondering why night streams were having higher attendance, but basically a lot of people complaining about the situation on them and why I had a series of low support night streams. It was kind of confusing. And the feedback I got was very simple. The regulars don't want to be there for the night streams because on the night streams, usually I'm playing a multiplayer game like the Modern Warfare 3 beta or Street Fighter 6. And as I'm playing, I can't focus on talking with the people in the chat. And when that happens, I lose focus. I can't look. That's when the trolls roll in. And they usually come in with new accounts, right? They usually come in with, you know, these socks so that no one really knows who they are. But all of a sudden, they all talk to each other like they know each other. They're all constantly doing what's considered sneak disses, meaning they're not going to come into the chat and outright say nasty things, but they're going to say really insulting, dumb things that are just going to get everyone and rub them the wrong way. They try to start fights in the chat, and essentially they only do it when I'm not looking. Because then when I'm done, oh, let's take a break, and I come back. Of course, now they're silent, right? So people have been saying that over the last, you know, couple of weeks, they've noticed this getting worse and worse. And a lot of regulars have said, you know, we used to show up to attend and support your late night streams, and we're not going to do it anymore because there's just not enough control. And this actually kind of godsmacked me. And the reason I say that is years ago, people always complained there was too much moderation. They said, Phil, your streams are too locked down. You have too many mods. They're too trigger happy. Everyone is constantly taking control of the stream and making it unfun. So I directly listened to that. That was about 2 years ago when I was getting that feedback. I directly listened to that feedback. And I said, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to be way more lax on moderation. I'm going to tell my mods they don't have to be as crazy strict, you know. And what's happened is the last few years, some of the moderators have slowly just kind of retired and didn't really say anything publicly, but they just kind of said, we're going to walk off and not become mods anymore or not be mods anymore. And as you know, I talked about this. We had one or two idiots who were trolls, literally catfishing everyone, which think about how useful that was because a lot came out of that, right? As you know, such horrible leaks and things have happened as a result of someone catfishing us as a moderator. So that was a really big use of time, wasn't it? But anyway, overall, over the last, you know, I'd say year and a half, moderation has become very lax on my streams. I will openly admit it. That was honestly an active choice of mine because I got so much feedback saying, Phil, when we're on your streams, it's like lockdown. We don't want that. We want to have a more casual environment and have everyone feel kind of, like they don't have to be walking on eggshells. Fine, let's change it. So now I changed it, and now here we are in a situation where I'm getting the opposite feedback. Phil, you're too lax. You don't have enough moderation. And now everything is too much about these trolls making a good old boys club and trying to make people feel, not welcome. And I'm like, are you kidding? So I was like, you can't win one way. You can't win the other way. So I guess it's a point where I have to find that moderation point, right? So I did have a conversation with my moderators over the last couple of days. Sadly, I hate to say it, I don't think that many of them or any of them are going to be able to really step up and moderate any more than they already are. A lot of these people are very busy. They come in and they help moderate when they can, and I'm very grateful for when they do show up, and that's very nice of them. But none of these people are paid employees. They're just fans like you and me. They come by when they can to moderate if they have time, but it's just not a priority for them. I didn't hold anyone to that level of standard because you guys told me you didn't need moderation as much and you wanted things more lax, so I did what you said. Well, I've now gotten, of course, absolutely flooded with people who want to be moderators, all right? And when you get flooded, it's like, okay, so now what do you do, right? Because now he's like, now you go one way, who do you trust or whatever? What we're going to do is, and it's not going to be consistent, you're not going to see it every night. You're not, all right? But basically, you're going to see maybe some more people, a handful of people who are going to be moderators, and they're not going to be here all the time. They're going to be coming in whenever they're available. So you may see it immediately. You may not see it for days. You may see it for 2 days in a row and then not for a week. It all depends. But again, I'm not holding people accountable. I'm not going to be, oh, you must be there to moderate. They're volunteers, right? They're not people who are paid employees who need to, you're going to get yelled at for not fucking being there. That's ridiculous. But I got a few people who I'm going to essentially become trial mods, and when they come in, if they can moderate, great. Particularly, you should see them probably on nighttime streams moving forward if they can make it. It won't be every night, but if you see them here, abide by the rules. I've basically told them, here's what I told them. If you see someone who seems to be suspect, someone who's acting up or trying to basically, and the thing is, what I mean by that is, a lot of the people who are coming by to troll at night are not outright trolls. They're not coming in here and immediately saying awful things about me or my wife or the work or anything. They come in and they sneak this, right? So, for example, I'll be here playing Street Fighter, and they'll literally every match say, oh, you played so poorly, you're horrible. Oh, wow, that guy is like a top-level player. He's absolutely dominated you. You can tell what they're here for. They're just here to create that negative environment around the stream to completely contradict anything I say on a stream, make me look like a fool, and discredit me, right? No one needs that. There's already tons of that out there. There's people constantly restreaming me and shit. Go watch their streams. I urge you to go watch their streams. If that's your mentality, the only reason you're coming is to basically sit here and be toxic, then go to the toxic place. This is not the toxic place. Really, I don't mind. I mean this. I'll say this publicly. I don't mind if you go watch a restreamer if that's what you want to do. Go for it. Just leave my community alone. We don't want you here. We don't need you here. We're here to have fun together and be positive. We're not here to sit here and listen to your bullshit. Okay? So, that's the deal. We're going to have some moderators who are going to be coming in looking for that kind of stuff. And they're going to be taking care of that. All right? And what I've advised them is that if they're going to do something, just time someone out. Don't be banning people permanently, especially when we don't know if these are new accounts or sock accounts or someone who just genuinely doesn't know the rules, or, just time the people out. So you're going to see likely more moderators over the next week or two. You're going to see a lot of people getting timed out for basically the same toxic behavior they've been doing for weeks and getting away with it. Well, now they're not going to get away with it anymore. Okay? We'll see how it goes. And if people feel that the improvement's good, great. If not, I'd like feedback. We might have to seek out some more people. Basically, I got flooded with people who wanted to do it. I'm like, well, I'm kind of apprehensive. Let me try to take some people who I recognize, who are regulars, who are, people who I've seen over the years, and I know that I can trust them, and maybe just give them a temporary modship and see how it goes. And by the way, it may be very well may be that these people want to do it, and then after doing it for a couple nights, they're like, oh shit, I want to do this. Right? I don't want to do that. That's fine. And then we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay? So, there you go. All right? And I'm going to do my best to not feed the trolls on those situations, because that's the thing. That's what they're doing it for. You know what I'm saying? Like they're coming to these late streams just to derail them to see if they can piss me off. If I'm already on a losing streak at Street Fighter, I go back to the stream and I see a bunch of idiots in there, you know, that could irk me and rub me the wrong way. And the best way to deal with these people is to not address it. If it needs to be moderated, just moderate it quietly and then just move on with my night and not give them the attention that they're so desperately seeking because they're losers in life and this is what they think they get their jollies from, you know? So there you go. So let's see how it goes and we'll go from there. All right, so that's the update on what happened the other day in our discussion, and moving forward, we'll see, you know, further on how things go. I've gotten tons of other suggestions for improvement and things, and I appreciate that, but I will say this. Some people are sending them direct to my email. That's a bad idea. There's a suggestions thread now for a reason. If you're not aware, we have a thread called the suggestions box. If you type !suggestion in the chat right now or during any live stream, the thread will come up where you can post up your suggestions. All right? And that's the way to go about it, because what we're going to do as a new practice is at the beginning of every new month coming up, for probably that whole first week, every day we're going to go through some of those suggestions from the suggestion box from over the course of the last month. We're going to address them. I'm going to tell you, hey, is this a good one? Is this one we can't do and here's why? Or maybe this is something I could take as a suggestion for improvement in the future. Maybe I can't do it right now, but we can implement it somehow long term. You know, that's great, but I am noticing a lot of people are shooting me emails, and I'm like, well, I can read this now, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I can implement it right now. We can't talk about it right now, especially, yeah, I got like 2 or 3 during my day off. I'm like, I can't really do anything with this. It's my day off. I'm not even home. I can't, like, pay attention to this, and thing is, I'm probably not going to remember it, right? To be honest. That's what the suggestions box is for, so please post them up there. And moving forward, again, we will review those come November. That's one of the first things we're going to do first week in November, okay? Thank you for that. Okay. Schedule. Let's talk about it. It's going to be an exciting week today. We continue on with Assassin's Creed Mirage on the first stream. It's been a great playthrough. We are currently 12 hours in. And first of all, we already run into 2 hilarious bugs. One was the Phantom Knife, a knife that was literally stuck to Basim's hand and was floating there and wouldn't move. For some hilarious animations as he's moving around, there's knives like, stand back, Basim, you're going to behead someone, right? Then, last time I played, we had the isometric camera bug, where the camera got stuck at an isometric angle backed up from Basim, so it looked actually very cinematic when he was running through the city. The problem was, he would go inside a building, and the camera would be stuck above the building, so you couldn't see through to see what Basim was doing inside. And that was a problem. It really was. It was a big problem. Yeah, hopefully today, let's be honest, hopefully we'll get even more bugs that are funny, because I don't mind funny bugs. I do mind game-breaking, annoying bugs, and we haven't had any of those yet, and that's a good thing. If the bugs are funny, then I'm okay with it, so let's see what happens today. As for the game's progress, I don't know because I haven't played the whole game yet, all right? But we have completed 3 major assassinations, at least on the big missions board that you get. I see one more big one that we're just about to start today, and the rate has been that pretty between 3 to 4 hours, I would say, we complete one of these giant mission trees. So probably between, if not all of today, then maybe a little bit of tomorrow's stream, we're probably going to complete that 4th major tree of the game, and then head likely into what they're considering the end game of the game, however long that may be, to complete the final big major assassination and final plot points. So far, I like it. Now, is it as crazy in depth as the previous Assassin's Creed games? Of course not. It's not meant to be that long. It's meant to be a more streamlined, more classic Assassin's Creed game, and that's perfectly fine. I feel like the last 3 games were overly bloated and had way too much, filler content and grinding, and it made them feel like they were too lengthy of an experience, that it took too much of an investment of your time to really fully finish. So, we will continue on today. I'm excited to see where it goes. If it really is, around a 20-hour experience, then I would guess probably 2 more, maybe today, tomorrow. We might wrap it up. We actually legit might finish it tomorrow, if not at the latest Monday. The thing is, when I play these games, there's going to be interaction. There's going to be other things going on. It's not just me playing the game for myself. So it very well could be that we need, 3 more streams to get, the official 20-21 hours. And then we wrap it up, say, on Monday, which I'd totally be okay with if that's the case. If we beat it early and we have an extra day to do whatever, I'm down for that too, you know? So let's see what happens. But today I'm excited to jump into it further and see how it goes. These streams have been very fun because they've been interactive. They've been a lot of opportunity for me to have discussion with you guys as I play the game because it is a more chill stream style game, okay? Tonight on the late stream, it's Friday Night Fights. Yes, it is more Street Fighter ranked, and the crowds have spoken. I got multiple messages and comments over the course of my day off saying, we want more Blanca. I'm like, listen, I'll give you what you want. If that's really what you want, people are basically happy that with Blanca, I've been seeing success in the master rankings. If you didn't know, I gained around 50, 60 master points last time I played. So we're actually growing in the ranks now in master. And people are curious if I continue to play with Blanca, if I'll continue to improve and keep climbing the ranks. Because around 2,000 points is around the threshold that all the pro players want to hit and try to maintain. Some even haven't been able to do that. And if I continue to play Blanca at master level and I'm gaining points every time I play, you know, it's kind of a slow climb, but it's a matter of time till I get up there. Not to say that I'm as good as a pro player. I'm absolutely not. I literally don't have a single match of offline experience. How on earth would I ever be a pro player at that level? Or I never will be. But it's pretty cool to see that I'm hanging, I'm learning, I'm doing better, and I'm actually playing at a good level against decent players as opposed to me grinding through the ranks of scrubs that I used to be doing to get to master, right? So the crowd has spoken. That's what you want. That's what you're going to get. Tonight, it will be more Master Blanca on the late stream of Street Fighter 6. Cool. Tomorrow, like I already said, more Assassin's Creed Mirage as we push towards the end of the game. Tomorrow night, it is the return of the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 beta. This time around, the open beta will be on the Xbox Series X. So I will be playing it on there. And the cool thing is, I'll be able to do a direct comparison from the PS5 to the modern or the Xbox versions, which I'm actually very pumped to do. When I played it on the PS5, I noticed a couple of things. Number one, the game ran insanely silky smooth. Like, there were no graphical bugs or issues. It ran at silky 60 frames the entire time. I even increased the field of view to 120, and it was still absolutely gorgeous. Okay? What I did notice is the controller had all these haptics and things enabled. Once I disabled them, it actually felt a little better. So the one thing that probably would have made it unique on the PS5 was more of a detriment. When I disabled it, I liked it better. Okay? Now, playing on an Xbox, there won't be any of those haptics and shit, but I'm curious, will it not run as well on the Series X? And if that's the case, then maybe if I'm going to get this game in November, I have to make the important decision of where would I get the better overall experience, and I'll have to think about that. Keep in mind, it's crossplay. It is crossplay. So it doesn't matter what I'm playing on. I could play people from other consoles and other platforms. So if I get it on one, it's not like I'm limiting myself. It's fine. So whatever I feel like it's better. Maybe I'll like the controller better on Xbox, but the game won't run as well. Now I got a tough decision to make if I buy it in November, right? So I'm excited. Plus, there's a new map I think they're going to unlock, a new map for the beta. And listen, I loved the beta the other day. I absolutely loved every moment I played it. I was shocked at how good it was, because it's all the retro maps, and I had this feeling of nostalgia overwhelming me when I played the game. It felt like I was 14 years in the past playing the old one, you know? So that was neat, and we're going to do that tomorrow night. What I'm hoping is that, yes, we will have some extra moderators available to help, and I would hope that if you're interested in seeing me play Modern Warfare, all right, in the future, please support that stream. Why do I say that? Because as much fun as I had playing this beta last weekend on PS5, it was a dead stream for support. And that's not cool, because I'm trying to determine if this is a game I want to buy for November. And if people are basically saying through their actions, nah, we're just not going to support it, it means you guys don't want it, right? The funny part was, no, I did get feedback after that stream. People said, oh, no, we do want it. We actually really liked it. Well, then I can't have it be a dead stream that night. So let's see what happens. Tomorrow night, we'll give it another shot, and we'll go from there. Sunday is React Day. My DSP versus the Internet Weekly Clips React show over on my sister channel, DSP Reacts. You can find that on youtube.com/@DSP Reacts. And last week, it was a great show because people were nominating a bunch of variety, notably a lot of Halloween and horror-themed things. It really made the show feel like it was a timely event. You understand? I really enjoyed that, okay? So I'm happy for how it went, and I'm looking forward to more of that this week, and I hope it'll go that well tomorrow. Sunday. Sunday night will be the return of Starfield. Yes, Starfield will be a late night stream on Sunday night. I'm looking forward to that. We didn't play it last week at all. We're actually going to be heading into, well, we just did the Samco recruitment, and we started doing more of the advancement of the main plot, correct? So maybe for the next 2-hour stream, we do even more main plot, just to keep it advancing and moving, so that way we can see where it goes, all right? Actually, something really interesting happened the last time we played, and then we haven't played for like a week and a half, so it'll be cool to see, advancing that plot, what happens on Sunday night, okay? Monday, the daytime stream on Monday is wide open, and here's why. It could be that we need another stream to finish Assassin's Creed Mirage, and if that's the case, that's what it is. If not, now we have some options. What do we want to actually do for the daytime stream on Monday? Well, think about it, all right? Monday night, more Street Fighter 6 Master Ranked. If it's Blanca, great. If it's the return of Honda, great. I'm cool with either, whatever you guys want. Tuesday is a big new release premiere. It's Sonic Superstars, the brand new 2D Sonic game from the makers of Sonic Mania. If you don't know, Sonic Mania was pretty much the best Sonic game of the last decade, no exaggeration. I can't wait to play this one again. New graphics this time rather than the old retro graphics, which will be really nice. So I'm pumped. I'm excited for that. The late night stream on Tuesday will be more Starfield. Okay. Now, Wednesday is also up in the air, and the reason I say that is because it really depends. Again, do we need more time for Assassin's Creed Mirage? If we do, then perhaps either the day or night stream would be a stream for Assassin's Creed Mirage to wrap it up. If we don't need time for Assassin's Creed Mirage, then my plan is to do another major stream of Sonic Superstars on the day stream, and the night stream could be open. It could be Starfield, it could be Street Fighter, it could be whatever we want. All right, we'd have freedom to choose kind of what we want for the end of the week, okay? But I am going to be doing at least 2 streams of Sonic Superstars, one daytime stream on Tuesday and one either day or night stream on Wednesday. No matter what, we're going to get several hours into that game for the launch of it, okay? So, the goal this week, complete Assassin's Creed Mirage, get a good chunk into Sonic Superstars, have some fun with the Modern Warfare 3 beta, do some Street Fighter, good variety of stuff this week, okay? Now, you may notice an omission. What didn't I mention this week? I didn't mention Lords of the Fallen. There's 2 reasons why I didn't mention Lords of the Fallen. The first is one we've already noticed, or already talked about, I should say, excuse me. Lords of the Fallen is a Soulsborne style game. Lords of the Fallen is a game that's going to be incredibly difficult. And in order to do well at it, that's the kind of game that you need to be playing a lot of. You can't just play it once a week and expect that somehow you're going to be able to play it and make progress in it, correct? You need to master the systems. You need to learn the intricacies of it. Imagine if I played Lies of P and I played it once a week. I'd probably still be on chapter 4 right now. Just to be honest, okay? I told you guys, if you want me to play Lords of the Fallen, that's a game that we should wait until I can very much sit down and focus on it. How can I focus on it when we've got Sonic Superstars, Super Mario Wonder, Spider-Man 2, and Alan Wake 2, plus the Halloween event all coming up in the next 2 to 3 weeks? It's not possible. So, makes more sense to hold off on it. And we also talked about this, correct? And what we said was, it seems like those games I just mentioned, Sonic, Mario, Spider-Man, Alan Wake, those are games that people absolutely would want to see on release day, because some of these are narrative-based games. You want to see the narrative as soon as possible. Some of these are platformers. Let's be honest, people get hyped for a platformer for a couple of weeks and then they, kind of move on to other games. Those are games that you will want to see at launch. Lords of the Fallen, because it's a Soulsborne style game and it's based off of difficulty. It's not based off of lore. It's not based off of a narrative. It's not based off of timely. It's based off of when you play it, you get your ass beat. Doesn't matter if I play it today, if I play it next week, if I play it in November, if I play it in December, if I play it in June, if I play it 4 years from now, it's the same game that's going to kick my ass, right? So whenever I play it, people are absolutely going to like it, right? So that's cool. And I listened to your feedback on this. I said, I think we should play it, but if we play it, we should play it in November. Because in November, we'll have had time to get through the other existing games. Really, only major release in November I'm even really interested in is Like a Dragon Gaiden and Modern Warfare 3. Outside of that, it's a pretty slow month. I think near the end of the month is the Super Mario RPG remake, but there'd be a lot more free time to do that kind of stuff then, all right? So, all right, I'm just going to start banning people now, because as you can see, it's sock accounts. It's people who are screaming at the top of their lungs in capitals. I've had enough. and I'm just going to get rid of them. In fact, moving forward, I won't even say what I just said. Really. I won't even say what I just said. I'll just take them out. Because it's ridiculous. People sitting here who I've never seen before, spamming the chat, right? And they just won't shut up. It's like, what are you here for? Because you want to get your attention and derail the chat, so I'm just going to take care of them that way. Okay. So there you go. All right, continuing on. So that's the plan. Now, there's another thing that has happened. Are you guys aware that the reviews are out for Lords of the Fallen? The game officially releases today, and the reviews are not great. Did you guys hear this? So, on average, I think right now, at least when I checked yesterday, it might have gone up or down since then, the Metacritic review was like 75. Yeah. Lies of P was up there. It was like 8 or 9. This is like 75. And the reviews are basically saying the following. The game does not feel polished. The game has bugs that are issues. The game has graphical issues, particularly on console. I guess what people are saying is on PC, it might run better, but on console, there's massive frame rate issues that are pissing people off during key parts of the game when they need to have it run better, and it runs like shit. Okay? In addition, Lords of the Fallen, the actual people, posted up a message yesterday, and they said, essentially, we're sorry, we have no ability to get the full version of the game up on Xbox right now. Yeah, they're basically saying that they have a patch that they were putting in there to make it run better, and that patch will be applied to PS5 and PC right away, but they're trying to get it through the Xbox certification system, and it's stuck. So if you buy the game on Xbox right now, you're not even getting the final version, and they sent out no review codes on Xbox at all. So the only reviews people did was PC and PS5 because no one had a chance to play it on Xbox. So the question is, how bad is this game on Xbox that they had to send out a special message to warn people about it, right? Well, now we'll probably know because it's out today. But I'm sorry, seriously, do you guys not remember Lords of the Fallen from many years ago? This sounds like a fucking copy and paste. When that game released, at first it was promising and it was interesting. But as you got further in, you realized the game was unpolished, full of stupid bugs, terrible gameplay mechanics, awful design decisions, and really choppy, bad graphics. And it was like, what is going on? Right? So, Add the Gamer says, I have it flipped. No, I don't. I'm telling you what I saw on social media. I read through several reviews, and the reviews all said that it's much better on PC than on console, that the PS5 version has tons of issues, and people were very disappointed with the performance on PS5, and they're like, it's another situation where it's not equivalent across platforms, and that's not fair. And then people were saying, well, why are there no Xbox reviews? Because they didn't send out any Xbox review codes, because they outright admitted yesterday it's not even done on Xbox. The version you play now is not the correct version, and they can't get the final patch out on Xbox yet. So basically, if I played this right now, it would be a fucking huge mess. Seriously. So actually, I'm glad I'm not playing it today. Maybe if I wait till November, the game would be much better. It might be that they patch it and improve it, and by the time I play it sometime in November, the game will actually be a much better gameplay experience. But again, I have to say something. What a difference between this and Lies of P. Lies of P on launch day was gorgeous. It ran beautifully. It didn't need a series of fucking patches to get it to run properly. It didn't have bugs that ruined the game. You know, I hate to say it, Lies of P, man, that was a pretty awesome experience. I'm so happy and pleased with how that went. And already, right out of the gates, it sounds like this is not so good. So, we'll see. Keep in mind, it's launch day. But I'm actually very happy I'm not playing it today. If this is the case, I don't want to be playing a game that's got fucking graphical bugs and glitches and issues just because it's launch day. I want that shit to be polished, okay? So, hopefully, this will be fixed. And if I play it in November, it'll be fine. So, I'm happy I'm not playing it today. It seems like, by complete chance, because this wasn't really the reason why we weren't playing it today, but by complete chance, I may have actually made the right choice, right? Like, just by complete luck. So, let's see how it goes. And, you know, we'll talk about it further as we move forward through the month. And as we hit November, we'll decide if and when I'm going to start that playthrough. But if we do, it'll be November, so that way I can focus a lot on it. Okay? Fair enough. Now, Other things that happens is people say, oh, what about RoboCop? What about that? What are you talking about? We have a schedule. We determined what games are the biggest ones this month. We've been talking about these for weeks, okay? All of a sudden, oh, what are you going to play, RoboCop? Are you going to play this one? What are you talking about? We've got the schedule. We know what's coming. It's what's set is set, all right? If we have extra time at some point, or down the line if you want to see another game, no, I'm not dropping everything to fucking play RoboCop because for one day there's viral popularity on the internet for a game that will then fizzle out and die and no one will ever talk about again. You understand? That's what it is with these kind of games. You know, if it's good, great. We'll play it later. I'm okay with that. But we've got the schedule laid out. Let's go with what we want and what everyone said they want and what I'm interested in playing now. And again, there will be opportunity to play other games that we miss out on. We have to be careful. And I say we. A lot of people say, oh, we have problems with you saying we. Why? This stream is our stream. Yes, I broadcast it, but this is a stream for our enjoyment. Not just mine. This is not Phil's stream to enjoy himself. This is our stream, correct? That's why we work on these things together. We have this discussion every morning to determine what we want to do. That's why I say we. That's why I say our. Some people have offense at that. It's because they're idiots. They don't understand the difference between someone out there who's literally just doing whatever they want versus someone who actually has a connection with their audience and wants to put out content the audience wants as much as they want to be entertained, right? So, am I interested in RoboCop? Sure. Why not? I like the RoboCop movies. I've seen all three of the classics back from in the day. The first one's great. The second one's good. The third one sucks ass. Everyone knows. I would love to play a video game that's RoboCop, but no one was talking about this game until all of a sudden a couple days ago. I don't buy into momentary hype just because it's the hot, what do they call it? The not flash in the pan. It's like the something of the day or something of the week or whatever it's called. You know, whatever the big one is that everyone talks about for a couple days, and then all of a sudden the hype's gone. It's on to the next, right? I don't play that game. I'm not a streamer who will play RoboCop once and then drop it and play other games and never go back to it. You know me that when I play games, I want to commit to them. I want to be sure that these are playthroughs that are going to be fun for the long haul. I don't want to just play a game for one stream and drop it, like a lot of streamers tend to do, right? So, am I interested in playing it? Is it flavor of the month? Thank you, Carlton Judy. He says flavor of the month was the phrase I was trying to get. You're right. Flavor of the month. Yeah, I would be interested in it, but if we're going to do it, let's see if it fits into the schedule and when we play it. But it's not going to be now. You know the schedule. I told you the schedule for the rest of the month. That's what we're going with. That's what everyone's more hyped for. That's what we're doing. Okay? I've already known what happens when you take on more than you can finish, when you bite off more than you can chew, when you have 7 games you're trying to juggle and you can only play each of them 1 to 2 times a week. No one's satisfied. No one's going to be happy with me playing Sonic Superstars, Mario Wonder, Spider-Man 2, RoboCop, Lords of the Fallen, Alan Wake 2, and other games as well, all at the same time. Everyone's going to be upset. Literally every person. Even me. So there you go. Okay, that's a schedule. And I'm excited for everything going on this month. Before we get to this ginormous gaming news segment, very brief plug segment. Ladies and gents, thank you so much for your support and allowing me to do what I love for a living, because it is through your crowdfunding efforts that I am still here and I get to do what I love. Most people at the level that I'm at, meaning the amount of viewership that I get, would never be able to make a living doing this, but I get to because of you, and only you, because you like the style of content that I put out. It's different from what a lot of other people do. No paid product placement message up here on the upper left-hand corner of your screen. No ad breaks running constantly, right? You know, there's a little difference. It's because I'm putting out content that I want you to watch that I would watch, right? I keep that crap out of my content. And the reason I can do that is because you support the content to keep it free of that stuff. No shilling, no sponsorships, partnerships, ad break here, ad break there. None of that, all right? And I'm happy about that. No referral codes today that you should use to buy products on my stream. So, if you like this content and you appreciate the honesty, the fact that I can be honest in my content and I can say my truthful thoughts about a game I'm playing, because I don't have to kiss its butt to say it's good because there's a sponsorship opportunity, and I don't have to slam it to get clickbait negative views because that doesn't benefit me either. I just make content for my small community that likes who I am, and now I'm totally happy with that. In fact, that's all I ever cared about to begin with back in the day when I started content. It was a hobby for the love of it. It wasn't because I wanted to do this as a job for a giant YouTube viral audience. So, please consider supporting this stream and or my on-demand videos if you like the content and you want to see this style of curated content continue. Here's how you can do that. Number one, engagement. Liking the streams, liking the videos, leaving comments on the streams, leaving comments on the videos. That's all engagement. And I mean that too, because a lot of people take that for granted. I get hundreds to thousands of views on a video, and I'll get 2 comments. Yeah. The comments are huge for engagement. I'm telling you, if you're watching a video and you could click and say, just want to say, hi, Phil, or just want to say, thanks for the video. Hey, this one's for engagement. Hope it helps. Literally, that helps. I'm not kidding you, okay? So please consider it. Please consider liking what you like. Just click the like button and or leaving a comment. It's huge, all right? You know what's funny is over the years, so many YouTubers say subscribe. I just thought about this last night. So my wife and I were watching someone playing Starfield. And we're like, and the person just getting subscribe, and I'm like, that's something I'd literally never have done. I don't think I ever asked for a subscription. Have I? Not once. Because, listen, if you like the content you're watching, you're going to subscribe to the channel, no? And there's so many people who have told me they didn't subscribe to my channel. They still watch the stuff, and they still support it, but they don't click the subscribe button because YouTube's annoying with the way that it disseminates content into your sub box or whatever. That's why you never hear me say that. I'm just curious. People wondered, why does Phil never ask for a subscription? I don't think it really means anything. It's always been this stupid, meaningless number that morons use to judge the popularity and success of a YouTube channel. How is it that I have 200,000 subscribers, but I'm able to have a living doing this? Because subscribers mean nothing. That's why. That's literally why. Okay? Anyway, continuing on. There is a 24-hour sub-only mode on the chat. If you want to talk here on the streams, you have to be subscribed to the channel for 24 hours. That stops trolling. That's why we do that. Without that, this chat would be absolutely a mess with bots and spamming of racist, toxic, sexist, disgusting, insulting, doxing, terrible things. We know because we went through it for about a month until sub-only mode was enabled on YouTube. So now that it's on there, we never went back, and it's a much better place. Anyway, if you would like to go above and beyond the engagement factor of the channel, please consider supporting in one of the other many ways you can do so, including a super chat, a super sticker, or a super thanks on an eligible video where you can do that on demand. If you do any of those things, I'll give you a shout out. I'll highlight your comment. I'll make sure that you get featured and you get a thank you from me. A membership or a gifted membership are great ways to support the channel. Surely it would be really helping right now because, as you can see, we lost even more members. Essentially, all those gifted memberships we got last month have expired, and now we're dwindling in numbers. There's nothing you can do about that. Please consider becoming a member, or maybe you're someone who's enjoying all the new content here, and you'd like to help out the community at large, the other viewers as well. That way it's not just about me and my channel, it's about everyone having a good time. Consider gifting some memberships, you know? People will absolutely love that, and they're very grateful. And this time of year, the fact that we've got all these new releases coming out, hey, people would love having access to all of my emotes, to be able to talk as much as they want in the chat without the slow mode rules, and many other benefits. So please consider that. Now, in the short term, I've already talked about this the past couple of days. I do need some help right now. If you can, I'm not asking for anyone to go crazy. I'm not asking for anyone to go, outside their means. But right now, I'm in a unique situation that kind of sucks. All right? Here's what's going on. Firstly, I have to buy a lot more games than usual. And this is to be expected this time of year because it's the busy fall gaming season. And notably, usually, it wouldn't be a problem. However, all of a sudden, all these things are happening at once. I get paid by YouTube once a month. That's a huge source of income that I used to pay a lot of my larger bills of the year and all of that. It just so happens that this month, the YouTube payment is scheduled for Saturday. When that happens, YouTube typically has the payment be delayed by 3 to 4 days. So I might not get paid until Tuesday or Wednesday of that week. The problem is I have bills due during that time period, and normally it's never an issue. This happens maybe once, no exaggeration, once a year, once every 2 years when we get into this level of situation. And again, normally it wouldn't be a problem, except I have to drop a bunch of money to buy games right before I get paid by YouTube. So the money I would normally have to say, okay, I can cover those bills because the payment's delayed, not a big deal. I got to buy games with that money. So I'm between a rock and a hard place. And if you wanted to help out right now, the best way you could do it is by tipping me. When you tip me, those are funds I get immediately in my PayPal. I can pay a bill. I can buy a game. That is where all of those funds are going, 100%. So if you tip me on a stream, you're directly supporting everything I'm doing. You're helping me out in a tougher situation time right now. And then when I get paid by YouTube, we'll be back to normal. All right? I'm not going to harp on this all day and talk about it constantly. But if you'd like to support a little more and help out a little more, if you have the option to choose how you would support and you can tip, that would be the way that I would ask that you could help me support me today. All right? So, tip goals are in effect as usual, right? And I hope that you will consider contributing if you can. If you like the content, please consider tipping. Fair enough? Good enough? Can we move on to the news? Because we got a ridiculous amount of news to cover today. Here we go. Good news is a lot of these stories are not super long or anything like that. But one of them is finally the resolution to something that's been going on forever that you guys have wanted. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody's favorite segment here on the Blah 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 podcast. It is time for DSP News. All right, let's do it. So, let's get into the news. First of all, apparently it's been teased by Activision Blizzard's CEO, Bobby Kotick, not for long, we'll talk about that in a second, that they want to bring back Guitar Hero. Now, Guitar Hero, for those who don't even remember it, I don't blame you for not remembering it, okay, was an incredibly popular home series of games featuring a guitar peripheral, and then later on it expanded to be more instruments, like a keyboard, drums, and other things as well, okay? But basically what it is you're at home, and there's music that's licensed music from real bands, and it plays on your screen, and you time your inputs on these virtual instruments to play music to the beat of the song, and you get, rated on how good you're doing, and, there's stories behind it and stuff. It's a good franchise, and it lasted a bit. I'd argue it lasted around 3 to 5 years, and this was around the mid to late 2000s. And then what happened was there was a market crash where there was too much oversaturation. Guitar Hero kept trying to sell individual games based on just one artist, like just the Beatles, right? That shit doesn't fly. The whole reason Guitar Hero worked is because they were selling a game that had to do with a wide variety of artists, and you could get almost an education on rock or other kinds of music by playing these games. If you're just buying a game and it's like 12 songs from one artist, it kind of undermines the whole purpose of what the game was supposed to be. In addition, they oversaturated the market. You had Guitar Hero, then their competitor made Rock Band. Then you had 400 spin-offs of each one. Then you had DJ Hero, and you had this one and that one. And there was so many of them. People got tired of it. They're like, wait a minute. How many times do I have to buy these peripherals, right? How many times do I need all these spin-offs? This is stupid. It's too much, And people got bored of it. And what happened was the market crashed, and it went out of business, essentially. All the companies that were dealing with this, basically, they couldn't sell games or peripherals anymore. Mad Cats literally did go out of business as a result of this. So, the funny part is, when you have someone say, oh, we're going to bring back Guitar Hero, I say, all right, so you got my interest for half a second. But don't just say that. Tell me exactly what you're going to do that's going to make this innovative and fun that a whole new audience will want it 15, 20 years later. Because it's been a long time since Guitar Hero was prominent and popular. So tell me what you're doing different this time, not we're just reviving the same idea. Because if you're just reviving the same idea, that's the same time, the same thing that they pull out some old pop culture idea like the Ninja Turtles. They resurrected them from the grave for the 400th time. Their shells are now decaying and they're all fucking melting and shit like zombies. Resurrected every 5 years for some other asshole to make a new IP out of them, right? No. Tell me a reason why it's coming back. Have you changed the formula? Have you innovated? Is it going to be different? Is it going to be better? Or are you just doing the same thing again? That's what I want to know, and that's what we don't know yet. So, will Guitar Hero be revived? Maybe. There's another problem that I don't think that any of these game developers are going to think about. Back in the mid-2000s, those games sold simply because people said, oh, it's a music game, and I like the music. Today, games sell based on advertisement and viral popularity on the internet. Guess what you can't do with licensed music on the internet? Make content with it, because it all gets claimed and blocked on YouTube and Twitch. So how are you going to have someone advertise your game of Guitar Hero 7 when they go to turn it on and immediately the stream gets muted? Right? Who's going to want that? People are going to say, oh, fuck that. So if I do anything with this game, any content, I just immediately get shut down? Fuck this game. Right? So it's a problem, and it's something I don't think that they're thinking about. Things are very different today. Now it's all about the online communities and the culture around it. And if you can't create content off of a game, it won't be popular anymore. And those games right now are going to have a big problem. I'm just saying, okay? Continuing on. Earth Defense Force is coming back. Good Lord. Yes, Earth Defense Force 6 is coming out in spring 2024. For those who don't know, this is an incredibly long-running franchise where it's about humans are militarized to destroy invading mutant insects that are destroying Earth. It's an incredibly grinding experience, but it's actually fun co-op with friends. If you were to play this game with 2 or 3 friends and you jump in murdering waves of giant mutant bugs and shit, it's actually pretty entertaining. But they haven't come out with one in a long time, so it's funny to hear that they're actually making another EDF game after such a hiatus. I wonder if it'll be any good. We have no information about it yet, but it's coming out next year, supposedly. I guess we'll keep an eye open for that one. Listen to this one. Best Buy will stop selling all physical media very soon. In fact, as soon as Q1 2024, both in-store and online. Best Buy has decided it no longer makes any sense to sell physical movie discs or game discs or music of any kind because everything has gone digital. I have been telling you guys about this. I told you this was coming. A lot of people don't want to believe it. No, but I'm a collector and I need physical copies of everything. You don't own it. You literally don't own anything that you buy on a disc. You've always only owned a license to watch it, and that can be revoked at any time. Now, everything needs an internet connection to watch, right? You buy a video game, you pop it into your console. Oh, it needs to download the real game. All you had was a 100 megabyte placeholder file on an empty disc, right? That's how it all is today. So there's going to be no more physical movie collections. Everything will be digital distribution. I don't like that either. Listen, if your internet's down, you're fucked, right? What if the licensing system breaks? Now you'll lose your access to all your content that you bought over the years. But that is what they're going for. And this is the first major retailer that used to be primarily known as a go-to place to buy this stuff, and they are phasing it out. So I think we all, sadly, are just going to have to accept the future, that we are going to have to bend over to our digital overlords who own the rights to every piece of content we've ever purchased, and at any moment they could just make us sit around staring at a blank wall because they turn off our access. And the sooner you accept it, the better. Or you could buy a book, because technically when you buy a book, you kind of own it. Even though you technically don't own the rights to the story, you do own the book physically. It's when we went from print to visual media that this changed. So buy books. Anyway, let's continue. People are strongly criticizing Diablo 4 because Diablo 4 now is selling incredibly expensive add-on content. For example, the base game's $70, which we already know. They already have seasonal $10 battle passes to earn in-game content, which everyone already kind of questions and criticized. It's all going to get future DLC down the road that already has been pre-priced at between $15 to $30. It's not clear what it'll be yet, but there will be a DLC expansion that'll cost that much. And now, get this, they're charging $40 for in-game skin bundles. $40 just to change the physical appearance of the characters in the game, right? Now, admittedly, it's optional. It's not something you need, but people are like, what, are they out of their minds? First of all, how many people do they think are obsessed with Diablo 4 at this point, months and months later? Diablo 4 was not a well-received game, I hate to tell them. It wasn't. Even people who were hardcore fans of the series did not really enjoy it after that first month, and now it seems like they're trying to nickel and dime their customer base like they think it's Call of Duty. It's not Call of Duty. It's not. People do not like it that much. So it's like they're just ignoring all of that and think, just keep rolling out monetized content, see what happens, right? Now, some people are actually saying foolish things like, well, I don't understand why people have issue with this. That's like mobile games just do this constantly. It's all they do. Like, that's a mobile game formula. Did you hear what you just said? It's a mobile game formula. What's the key difference between a mobile game on your phone and Diablo 4? One is free and one you already paid $70 for. That's the difference. The free game monetizes through those microtransactions, and that's how they make their revenue. But you got the game for free. You already bought Diablo 4. So you paid for the content, and now they're nickel and diming you for every piece of future content as if it's a mobile game. That's where the criticism comes in. So, yeah, I kind of can see where people are coming from, and I agree on everything going on and these criticisms. And the thing is, it may change very shortly. You might say, what are you talking about? A future news story we're about to talk about very soon will actually give you that answer. So let's not talk about it yet. Let's get to it, okay? Well, as you guys know, there is currently a whole entertainment industry strike. Although the writers have come to an agreement with the entertainment industry, the actors have not. The actors are upset for two major reasons. Number one, they don't want AI counterparts of themselves being put into movies without them actually getting paid for that representation. Number two, they want some payoff from all the digital rights distribution, because previously actors used to actually get some money off of DVD and movie sales, but now those aren't a big deal anymore. I mean, Best Buy isn't even going to sell those anymore. But now everything is digital, and these actors are not seeing any residuals from the digital rights, so they want a cut of that pie as well. All right, so that's what this big strike is about. Well, a new bill called the No Fakes Act is being proposed to protect actors, singers, and others from having their voice and likeness become AI generated at all. If passed, it would hold people, companies, and platforms liable if they produced or host digital replicas without the consent of the actor. So there you go. Will it be passed or not? I don't know. I guess we'll see. But it seems to be one of the major issues of contention. The other issue of contention right now is that apparently, I guess there's some deal. They want, like, actors are saying they're trying to get 2% of digital streaming revenue. Like, they want a 2% cut of all residuals. I guess what they're saying is that's what they used to get from DVDs. So now they just want that from the streaming platforms, and they don't see how that's unreasonable when they used to get paid on the DVDs. So that's what the SAG-AFTRA strike is about, and that's what they're trying to get. And we'll see how that goes moving forward. All right, you guys ready? We already covered the Lords of the Fallen story, so I could skip that. I think we could talk about the big story now. We can. Ladies and gentlemen, it is absolutely official. As of this morning, the Activision Blizzard King, yes, I know because there's a third company in there called King. Did you even know that company existed? I didn't. The Activision Blizzard King buyout by Microsoft is final and happening immediately. They are now owned by Microsoft, and Microsoft now can do what they want with those companies because it has gone through the CMA, which was the final regulatory body over in the UK that had issue with this, has approved it with the big caveat that the streaming rights of cloud gaming are not held by Microsoft. They have to put the streaming cloud gaming rights of their games to other companies. Like they said, I think it's going to be EA that's going to do that. But since they've done that, Microsoft has now completed the purchase. So it is absolutely official. As of today, Master Chief is a character in Overwatch 2. Also, I don't know if you're aware, but Phil Spencer is now a guest character in Diablo 4. He's actually a necromancer. And yes, this is all true. No. But basically, here's the thing. Don't expect overnight changes, but expect changes. Okay? And what do I mean by that? Already it's been talked about. No, these games are not hitting Game Pass yet, but they're all going to hit Game Pass next year. It's already been told. Call of Duty, probably Diablo, probably Overwatch, probably World of Warcraft even, may all be included under the Game Pass umbrella come next year. How amazing would that be? I won't have to make a choice to buy Call of Duty anymore. I'll keep my Game Pass. I'll play it every year on Xbox. I'm down with that. That sounds good to me. I don't know about you guys, but I'd be happy. This also would mean no more timed exclusive content for certain consoles. These games, any games, would have the content on all consoles and PC all at the same time. No more timed exclusive nonsense, right? But I think the big story that just hit this morning, Bobby Kotick, we just mentioned him, about the whole Guitar Hero story. Bobby Kotick has officially announced he will be stepping down from the CEO position of Activision Blizzard King as of January 1st. We made it. We waited it out. It took ages, but it's finally happening. Let me tell you, all the stories the last 5 years that I've covered and people talking about this, Bobby Kotick this, Bobby Kotick that, we hate Bobby Kotick. He's done another bad harebrained thing. He's led the company astray. He knew about the internal stories of awful leadership, terrible mismanagement, the good old boys club mentality of abuse, and he swept all those stories under the rug, right? Bobby Kotick is gone as of January 1st. Hallelujah. You know, like, holy shit. Thank goodness, maybe change is finally coming to that company. It's taken way too fucking long, in my opinion. The only sad part about it is, sadly, as we've talked about many, many times over the years, do you think Bobby Kotick is going out with a big L on his head like this? No. Bobby Kotick will be going out with 2 ginormous money bags, just like this. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if when he leaves the office for the final time, he actually is covered in bags of gold. Like, just like giant, like, you ever seen Scrooge McDuck, like, swimming through the money pit? So, like, he'll be, like, rolling out the front door in a big surge of gold coins into his limo as he's flied off his private jet out to the fucking, you know, the Virgin Islands for a nice, you know, 4-month vacation, sipping on, you know, Mai Tais on the beach, and, you know, eating fucking caviar and fucking lobster tails and shit. Like, this is the guy's life from now on. This guy is going to go out on the biggest golden parachute you've ever fucking seen. This guy will never have to work another day in his life. I'm sure he's happy for that. They already said his stock options alone are worth over $400 million. So literally he could do nothing and sell his stock and he's a fucking bajillionaire for the rest of his life. Even though everyone has agreed his leadership's been terrible for the last 5+ years, and he's been responsible for some of the most awful things that ever happened at the company, he goes out a protected rich man. Wow, what a victory for us, right? It sucks, but that's life. That's these people at the top. I keep telling you, they fail up. They do wrong things. They get rewarded and promoted. They make more money as a result of their heinous actions. And then when they eventually have to relinquish power, they go out on a victory note. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just funny because people are like, oh, hooray, he's out. Like, hooray, but yeah, at what cost? You know all that money we all spent every year buying Call of Duty? Guess what he has now? That's his money. Like, he literally pockets it. Right? He made most of the money. He's out, you know, $400 million, dude. It's absolutely ridiculous. So anyway, I mean, am I happy to see him go? Yeah, let's be honest. Activision Blizzard has been on a huge downward trend for many, many years. So many questionable choices. I'm talking game-wise. I'm not even talking about all the fucking drama and shit that's happened behind the scenes at that company. The stories of fucking sexual abuse and stuff that's absolutely ludicrous would happen at a company like that. I'm just talking game-wise. And look at what's happened under his watch. What happened to Overwatch? What the hell happened? That was a game that was culturally relevant and mainstream popular, and you destroyed it because you're an idiot, right? Look at Call of Duty. He ran it into the ground. It's like everything that's happened in the last many years that were popular, they're all destroyed. Diablo 4, I'm sorry, is not a very good game. It's just not. It's a big disappointment. I can't believe that this guy lasted as long as he did, except again, these people are protected. They are literally protected. They don't have to ever have consequences for their bad choices or actions because they're fucking rich and at the top and they get protected by everyone around them. So finally he's out, but I mean, the question is, what'll happen, right? What will actually happen moving forward? Will there be some improvement to the company? We can hope so. We hope there'll be positive improvements, right? All right. One last thing I want to talk about real quick, because then I want to do some shout outs and if we have time for Q&A. So there's been a suggestion made. I like the suggestion, excuse me. However, I just don't know how I'm going to implement it. I'm going to leave the DSPN logo because it has to do with DSPN notably. Basically, here's the deal. Actually, you know what? Now, it's not technically news. It's an idea, so let's go back. As you know, I do these different segments of the show, correct? Sometimes a certain segment is the highlight of the show. Like that story about Activision Blizzard buyout is pretty much a big highlight of the news segment of today, correct? That's what people probably want to know about the most if they were going to watch me cover news. Well, what's happened is I do this show once a day. It's a long podcast. It lasts anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half, and there's a ton of topics covered. Well, How do you find the content in the show you want to watch? Well, we have AI timestamps that every day get posted on the show. So if you're watching the new show, you're like, oh, I wonder what's in today's show. You check the description, you'll see all these AI timestamps. You'll be able to jump to what you want. But what some YouTubers have found very successful is if they run a podcast like me, they will do excerpts of certain topics and split those videos off as separate videos. So imagine if we did a podcast excerpt that was only 5 or 10 minutes long, just covering that buyout story and the Bobby Kotick leaving Activision Blizzard story. And that was a separate video, right? Simply putting that out on my channel, some people might find that and find the channel and watch that content and say, oh, I like that. So he covers news stories every day. I'm going to subscribe to that channel and I'm going to check these out every day, right? It's something that can genuinely add engagement and discoverability to a channel, all right? However, here's the problem, all right? As you know, I am one of the most prolific streamers out there. I'm here all day streaming. I'm here from 10 in the morning till almost 10 at night with a break in between for dinner, but I'm here constantly streaming. I don't just do one podcast and walk away for the rest of the day. Because of that, I don't really have opportunity to sit down, review my content, decide what's split worthy, and split it out. And I'll give you an example, all right? When I finish this stream, it ends at 4 p.m. That's around a 6-hour stream, and it takes YouTube, no exaggeration, hours to process that stream. I can't even just skip around the stream and get timestamps or anything properly until that thing processes, which could take 2-3 hours minimum to even work properly. In addition, I don't know where the pertinent stories start and begin. I don't know what you guys would find to be the most pertinent stories. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, today I would say, yeah, definitely this Activision Blizzard story is the biggest one. That could be a clip worthy of being clipped out and being a separate video. But I don't know every day what you guys find to be the most, notable content, being honest. What you may not realize is YouTubers who frequently do this practice are much bigger than me, and they actually pay people to do this. You can actually have someone become an administrator of your channel and have access to all of your video content. And that person can go in and actively go through a stream once it processes, find those stories, clip them out, highlight them, and create separate videos. And that's what YouTubers do. They don't do it themselves. They actually pay people as employees to go do that for them, especially someone who works a lot, or someone who's bigger than me who has the money to do that. I'll be honest, I just don't. Already I'm in here all day long. I don't have time to wait for my stream to process, come in when it processes, go through a 20 or a 2-hour stream, find the thing, clip it out, name it. I would never leave this office. You know what I'm saying? I would never have time to be with my family at this point. Sadly, I just don't think it works for me. I think that it makes sense. The practice makes sense. Absolutely it does. The practice does make sense. I like the idea. I think that it's a grand idea, and it could genuinely help this channel because I cover news topics every day. Most people don't know that, right? They don't know that I'm covering gaming news. They think that I just do a podcast where I blab and then I go right into games and we dick around all that. They don't even understand I'm covering serious topics. Having videos on those topics could be very interesting and actually bring a whole new audience to this channel. But I don't see how I could viably do it because of the amount of content I put out, So the question is, do I scale back my content? So now I have less time to stream games, but then I have time to edit news, right? Or, what do I do? Do I seek out someone who maybe is trustworthy, but that means giving them access to all the content on my channel and having to trust someone to do it? That sounds like a big trust thing. You know what I mean? I don't even know who I trust to do that. So, I'm going to have to think about it. I would like to hear your opinions on it, all right? What would you think? Do you think that would be a benefit to the channel? I like the idea. I seriously do. I put effort into researching these stories and trying to give you my honest takes on them every day. I wish more people knew about those takes besides people who just happen to watch the podcast every day, It would be great to have those sorted out or separated out or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know realistically how to make that viable, all right? So I'm open to suggestion. I'm open to opinion. I'd like to keep talking about this moving forward. You know what I'm saying? So let's see. Let's talk about it. Let's look into it, and let's go from there. That, ladies and gentlemen, is all I have to talk about on today's show. So it's time for shout-outs, and we start off today on the YouTube side with Monk, who did a £1 super chat. Thank you to Monk for the £1. Cypress, I believe, re-upped their membership. No, Cypress became a member. So because of that, that counts as an actual fresh new membership. Thank you so much, Cypress, for that. And then, Mr. Game Master did a super sticker, $2 super sticker. Let's get Game Master up on the leaderboard. Good, I spelled it right. I'm getting used to typing his name. It's very long. And on the tip side of things, I received a $20 tip from 1 Minute Man. Thank you so much, 1 Minute Man, as always, for your ongoing support of all of my content here on DSP Gaming. I really, really appreciate that. So let's get your animation going. Let's get you up on the leaderboard as the first tipper of the day. Okay. Very nice. And by the way, I've already told you guys about this. Around the middle of the month, so another couple days, I'm going to flip the animations around. I know you've been seeing Chucky, Jurassic Park, Frankenstein's monster a lot. I'm going to flip it so that those animations you've barely seen will now be the more common animations. And the more common ones will become the more rare animations. So that way you can see all the animations for this month and they're not kind of stuck behind a paywall or anything like that. I like the fact that people make these animations for me. They put a lot of time and effort into them. And I want to be sure that they get a lot of watching. So we're going to do that. Okay? Cool. All right. So there we go. That's done. We covered everything, right? There's no other further shout outs to do. We have a little bit of time if you guys have some Q&A or whatever. What's up, Juan? How you doing? Ghostbusters, you know that Ghostbusters animation is a great one, but when I was setting up for this year, I don't think I found it. I think I have it. I just don't know where it is. I'd have to find it. But, I mean, that was last year's. With the legacy animations are more for the Super Chats, as you've seen. The Super Chats are more of the older Halloween animations, and those are for various levels of Super Chatting. Here, you want to test it? Let's test it. What are the Super Chat levels? Here's how we can test this. So if I go to Super Chats, and we go to variations. The $5 is the skeletons. What's the $10 super chat? Okay, that's the Resident Evil. We've seen that a few times. Okay. And then we've got a $15 super chat. That's the Ghostbusters. That's why we haven't seen it. I put it as the $15 super chat, and almost no one does a $15 super chat. I was wondering where the Ghostbusters animation was. There it is. That's why we haven't seen it. You got to do a $15 super chat to see that one. Because the people would usually go to 20, and 20 is this. Ah! It's the Alan Wake flashlight animation. See that? So, there you go. That's why we haven't seen it, because people were wondering, why didn't we see the Ghostbusters animation this year? There's your answer. Because we had it as a $15 super chat. So, there you go. Okay, anything else, guys? X-Shooter just did a super chat. I'm almost done with Miles Morales. I'm getting ready for next Friday. Good. Yeah, good time to finish it up and get ready for Spider-Man 2. Hopefully it's good. I think it will be. Thank you, X-Shooter. That's right. Ooh, I feel so funky. That's the quote from that, right? Let's see here. Game Master did a super chat. He says, since I replayed Arkham Asylum and City, would I do Night again? Oh, yeah, I would. I would consider Arkham Knight again. Absolutely, I would. Sure. I don't see why not. I don't know when we would do it. I mean, it's been a million years since it came out. What was it, 2015? So you're talking now the game's like actually quite old when you think about it. It's wild because this is the latest one, so I don't think of it as old, but it's old, you know? I would consider replaying it one day if you guys wanted me to. Willow, no, I've never pet a sloth, and I still don't know why you insist on asking such ridiculous questions every day, because you know the answer is always no. Like, literally, it's always no for your questions. No, because of the driving. BITW awesome. did not like Arkham Knight because of the excessive amount of Batmobile. And everyone, I agree. It was Batman, Batmobile. It was like Batmobile Arkham Knight or something, right? It really has a lot of Batmobile. Okay. It wouldn't matter. Notice Snake says, what about doing a physical queue to make it easier to clip out certain parts once you're done? Because that's not how it works. So just so you know, on YouTube, when you do a stream, an archive stream, you have to go to the archive stream page, the editor, and the editor does not play as a live video like you're thinking. It doesn't. It takes, I'm not even kidding, like 12 hours to process properly and even look like a normal video. You can't hit play and look for a cue. It chops up. There's very limited frames of animation in it. It's a mess. It's hard. Like, for example, there's some days where a video will corrupt, and I have to try to chop a chunk out of that stream so you guys can still see the video. It's hard to do. It's legit hard to do. That's why you'll see that sometimes the videos aren't perfectly lined up. The editor is a piece of junk. The editor works, but it only works well like a day later. Once a stream has been archived over a day on YouTube, then all of a sudden it starts to work properly as an on-demand video where you can see little things and you can jump around and play it normally. But it is like a super laggy, delayed piece of junk when a stream just ends. And I wouldn't even be able, the queue wouldn't even help. Seriously. No, I'm not going to spoil my costume. People are all asking for hints. I told you. The hint is thus. Number one, yes, the costume has a direct correlation to stuff on DSPGaming. That's number one. Number two, the costume likely has a long-term use. That's all I'm saying. That's it. I'm not going to tell you anything else about it. I don't want you to know what the costume is. That's it. I want it to be a surprise, okay? Am I going to eat candy on stream for Halloween? I might have some candy. We have a bag of candy we've had for months and months. It's one of those multi-packs that's like Kit Kat, Hershey bars, Reese's Pieces, and like peanut butter cups. I love them, but I just don't eat candy that much. So maybe if you want me to have a piece of candy on stream, maybe I would. But, yeah, I don't know. Well, I'm glad your birthday is coming, Juan. It sounds like you're very excited. What was my first ever Spider-Man game? Holy shit. What was my first ever Spider-Man game? I know the answer. Spider-Man on the Atari 2600. Yep. I didn't own it, but my uncle had it, and he let me borrow games, and I played it. And it's an atrociously bad game. Ridiculously bad. Insanely annoying sound effects, awful graphics. It's just you shooting a web trying to climb this building while assholes are throwing shit at you. It's fucking super annoying. It's one of the worst. But that was the first Spider-Man game I ever played. Anything else, guys, or are we good? Any last-minute questions, or are we good to go? Feasting with Phil is on Halloween, as I've already said. No Sleep Real Vibes. It's during the marathon. All right, Jade. If you can talk with us today, it sounds good. If not, if you're passing out from your allergies, I'm sorry to hear that. It sucks that you keep getting these allergies, man. I actually got a tip here. Let's see here. From Soggy Nipples, a $2 tip. Do you have a candy or chocolate you enjoyed as a kid that you don't enjoy now? Do you have a chocolate or candy that was grown on you? What about foods? As I said, when I was a kid, I used to eat more tart, sweet candies like Skittles, Smarties, those kind of things. Today, I would not want those at all. No. Today, I want chocolate. I want peanut butter, caramel, nougat, that kind of stuff. That stuff tastes amazing to me. I'm just not interested in like simulated fruit flavors and tartness anymore. You know, you grow out of it, and that's what it is. Like that overwhelming sweet is not what I'm looking for anymore when I want a piece of candy. So there you go. Thank you, Soggy Nipples, for a $2 tip. Your name is disgusting. Tub says right now Lies of P is 8.1 on Metacritic. Lords of the Fallen's around a 7.6. I mean, so they're not that far off, right? I actually heard that Lords of the Fallen had higher reviews than that. I thought a lot of people gave it like a 9. So to have it like 8.1? I wonder what happened there. Is it the lowing outlier reviews that brought it down? I'm curious. I've heard that the average, like really legit, most people are giving Lords of the Fallen like a 7 or 8. Like no one's giving it above an 8. They're just saying it's not that good. It's not good enough to get 9 or 10 considerations. But maybe I'm wrong. That's what I've heard. Doggy says, same with sugary drinks, kind of like Mountain Dew. Tastes gross now. Yeah, like, you're right. When I was a kid, I liked soda. I'll be honest, I barely ever drink real soda anymore. Seltzer water, yes. But soda full of sugar, almost never. I've completely cut it out of my diet, and I don't seek it, nor do I really enjoy the taste of it that much. If I have it on a rarity, like I'll have a root beer or a Dr. Pepper, it's like, oh, it's so weird and different. I'm not used to drinking that much sugar, you know? What's new today? Well, I mean, I'm excited. A brand new streaming week. I'm excited for Sonic coming out this week. I'm excited to try Modern Warfare Beta again tomorrow because I loved it the other day. I'm happy about the cooler fall weather. The only reason I didn't wear a fall shirt today is the hottest day of the week. It's going to be like 71 degrees outside, which isn't hot, but because it's 71, that means there's sun today, which means this room will be warmer. The rest of the week is like 60s or 50s outside, which means it'll be cooler. So if I'm going to wear like a fall shirt, it would be later this week. But outside of that, I'm very excited for this week. It's going to be a good one. Soulsborne creators like Lords of the Fallen. They gave it 8s or 9s. Technical problems brought down overall scores. Patches are out today to improve it. Interesting. Mr. Game Master did a super chat. He says, crazy for the Microsoft Blizzard deal. Microsoft's going to pay them in cash. I can't imagine how long that will take to get out. Yeah, what I've actually heard, sadly, they're going to pay it in pennies. So they have to get a few thousand trucks over to their place, and they're just going to dump them right on the front, completely blocking the doors so the employees cannot leave. It's going to be interesting. So, yeah, like I told you, Bobby Kodak's going out on a bunch of coins. That's what I meant. He's going to actually swim out of the pennies that they're paying when he leaves. Okay. Of course that's what I meant. How did you know? I don't know if I would play RoboCop at all. I don't know much about it. I would consider playing RoboCop in the future if people want it. I don't even know when it comes out. I mean, so I mean, like, we weren't talking about RoboCop this year. It wasn't even a consideration. Now, all of a sudden, oh, there's a little bit of hype behind us. And everyone, oh, you play RoboCop. You got to play RoboCop. No. Stop that right now. Stop it. Because that's how we get into this situation where everyone wants Phil to play every single game, and then everyone's upset because Phil never finishes a game, okay? Again, I'm not a streamer that buys every game, plays it twice, and drops it because the attention's gone. I don't do that. I play games because I enjoy them, and I want to finish them, and I love them, and it's part of my hobby as well as my job, and I cherish what I do for a living as meaningful content. I'm not just here to make a buck on the day one views and then move on to another game. So if you want me to play RoboCop, I'm actually going to play RoboCop. And we need to have that fit a schedule like everything else, you see? It's very different. No, I'm not playing Gollum. We know how bad it is. Why waste? I don't have time enough to play the games that are good. How am I going to take time to play games we know are fucking bad? What's the point? You know? Back in the day when I used to purposely play every game is because there wasn't so many games. Now there's just so many games. Things have changed in 10, 15 years. You got to accept that we need to pick and choose the better ones. Okay? Darren says, the reason RoboCop's getting interest, it's a Bethesda type of mix of FPS shooting and choice-based story. I played the demo. It's pretty fun. Do I think the Avengers or X-Men will be mentioned in Spider-Man? No, not unless they paid for it, which I'm sure they didn't. I'm sure they didn't pay the licensing rights for those characters, so no, I don't think so. By the way, FYI, we made this announcement the other day. Our Magic 8 Ball is feeling lonely. Hasn't been getting a lot of attention lately. It used to be if you tip $8 or more, you could ask the Magic 8 Ball a question. I now opened it up to Super Chats. So if you Super Chat $8 or more, you can also ask the 8 Ball a question. It's not limited to just tips anymore. FYI, just for your enjoyment. We could do more 8-ball stuff, just so you know. Okay? Cool. Excuse me. All good, Jade. If you don't see it till tonight, that's all good. Game Master did another super chat. He says, Gollum sucks so bad it's only $10 at GameStop. I'm actually, I'm wondering how they can do that. They should actually pay you $10 to play it because it's so bad. What does the 8-ball usually say? Surprisingly enough, this 8-ball has a ton of answers. Like, I thought at first it would be like a crappy one. No, this thing has like tons and tons of answers that it's given, so I don't even know what the limitation of the 8-ball is. I don't know how many answers it has. We've seen dozens. So, I don't know. Maybe someone says, will there ever be a Super Mario hat? I mean, we already have like a dozen hats, and, you know, we don't use them that often. Again, if it was something that we were doing all the time, like, remember, we were hitting the vest goal constantly, so I bought tons of vests. Then we were hitting the hat goal constantly, so I would buy more hats. There's no reason to keep adding if I'm not hitting it. You understand? So, no, I'm not really going to add stuff until it becomes a consistent thing, and it's not consistent right now. I should get a Ouija board, and for $8 tip, I should do a seance live on stream. That sounds a little dangerous. I don't know about you guys. I don't know about live seances sponsored by Parker Brothers, but I don't know about that. All right, we got to get out of here, guys. Let's end the show. Thank you for watching. It's been a good one. I hope you've enjoyed. I'll be back tomorrow to talk all about the progress in Assassin's Creed and to see how we did in Street Fighter. And if there's any other news, if there's anything going on, we can talk about it. But for now, thank you all for watching the Level 1 podcast, the super packed episode today. I really enjoyed it. I had fun talking about the news and chilling with all of you, and I really appreciate that. Thank you all so very much, and I will see you tomorrow. By the way, happy Halloween.